I say, not run. Don't be afraid. I will not leave you alone.
He's amazing. He's like the white Muhammad Ali. He might not talk like Muhammad Ali, but he is the Muhammad Ali of the last generation.
With an all-time great, not a generational great, an all-time great. A generational great would almost dictate that Oleksandr Usyk is just a great in the last 10, 15 years. No. Oleksandr Usyk is a great.
Boxing is a sport for gentlemen, not a street fight, Oleksandr Usyk said, in response to Floyd Mayweather's assertion. True fighters don't only run or talk big, he underlined. They prove themselves.
Listen, boxing, it's sport and the gentleman. It's not a street fight. It's a boxing.
Do you think
boxing? It's a boxing. Say it again.
Do you think he was being dirty during the whole fight?
I don't have idea. I have no idea.
No.
Maybe.
Analysts, meanwhile, draw attention to the notable distinction between Oleksandr Usyk and Floyd Mayweather, pointing out that Usyk exudes no ego or conceit. They respect Usyk's humility in spite of his achievements. Unlike Mayweather, who still thinks he's better than everyone else in the sport, Usyk stands out for his humble demeanor and reverence for boxing, demonstrating that greatness isn't always accompanied by arrogance or self-glorification.
One of the best of all time. I know a lot of people are kind of probably going to hear me say that and say, you're going too far, you're this, that. Because I've seen that straight away. As soon as Usyk did that, he's 2-time undisputed heavyweight, 1-time cruiserweight, 3-time undisputed. His resume, yes, look, at heavyweight, it's a lot of rematches, but it's the way he's doing it.
Yeah.
And he's not just, okay, he could have 10 world... Deontay Wilder has 10 world title defenses.
Yeah.
Luis Ortiz and Tyson Fury are the only ones you really have any kind of weight to them. Usyk is taking on the perceived either number 1 or number 2 in these defenses.
Yeah.
Fury perceived number 1. AJ at the time 1. Dubois number 2. He's taking like, all right, who's the next in line? All right, I'm fighting him.
Yeah.
That's the way he's doing it.
And he's doing it in a way in which is so beautiful to watch.
Oleksandr Usyk has been called the Ali of this generation by Derek Chisora, who likened him to Muhammad Ali. He commended Usyk's timing, movement, and ring IQ, pointing out that it's uncommon for a heavyweight to move so light. Chisora emphasized how Usyk outsmarts his opponents with grace and accuracy rather than using physical might. Chisora claims that Usyk's composed manner and self-assurance make him think of Ali's fighting approach, which combines style and intelligence. Watching Usyk is like seeing poetry in motion, he adding that the Ukrainian, like Ali, has given a new grace to contemporary heavyweight boxing.
Listen, what I'm saying is this, yeah. To beat Oleksandr Usyk, you have to be mentally disturbed in your head. Yeah?
You have to be mentally disturbed.
Yeah, because you have to understand.
Or to take the fight in the first place.
Yeah, because when I saw him a couple months ago, I had a coffee with him, we were just chatting. The guy lives in Ukraine.
Yep.
Yeah. He goes, oh, before I came on the plane, I was sleeping in my house, and then those missiles were going over my house, and I didn't want to go in the bunker. I was like, I'll just go to sleep. There's some craziness, isn't it? I mean, like, imagine you're in your house in Barnet, Timbuktu, and then missiles are going. What are you gonna be like?
Yeah, he's cut from very different stuff.
Yeah, exactly. So, and then remember, so you have to come in there looking to go to the other side because he's looking to go to the other side. Mate, can you do us a favor? Can you stop beating us up?
On the increasing number of specialists who think Oleksandr Usyk is more than just a champion is a renowned boxing promoter, Eddie Hearn. He's a combatant who only comes around once. As one of the most talented technicians the sport has seen in decades, Hearn, who has worked with many elite athletes, underlined the uniqueness of Usyk's skill set. Boxing fans across the world have been astounded by his smooth move from cruiserweight to heavyweight while retaining his speed, timing, and poise. Hearn's acknowledgement goes beyond simple compliments. It illustrates the extent to which Usyk has altered the standards for contemporary heavyweights.
Everybody gets it wrong. You don't box this guy. It's like, how can I explain it to you in a way you understand? We can't box him.
He's just too good.
He's just unbelievable great. Yeah, forget good. He's amazing. Yeah, he's great. He's amazing. He's like the white Muhammad Ali. He might not talk like Muhammad Ali, but he is the Muhammad Ali of the last generation. You understand? We have to give him the credit where it's due. Yeah. He is that guy.
USYK has risen to the top of boxing history with his most recent overwhelming performance. Experts now rank him as the 4th greatest fighter of all time, a ranking that is rarely given to active boxers. This recognition is based not only on wins, but also on the caliber of opponents, the style of his victories, and the regularity of his performance. His versatility across weight classes and ability to defeat top competitors in their own arenas say it all. It is no longer difficult to rank him as one of the greatest of all time. Data, performance, and legacy support this assertion.
Just, you're talking about one of the great generational. I watched the first 2 rounds, and Dubois looked really dangerous. Came out, backed him up, and then Usyk just decided, I can't allow him to back me up, so I'm going to go on the front foot and box aggressive here. And he knocked him spark out. Unbelievable. Just a true generational great.
There is more to Oleksandr Usyk than just becoming a champion. He is a representation of tactical mastery and technical genius. In the ring, his razor-sharp instincts are the exact reverse of his serene exterior. He does not pursue the spotlight, engage in constant trash talk, or fight for attention. Rather, Usyk lets his performance do the talking.
Now what's yours, Jerry? What's yours?
Oleksandr is the 4th greatest fighter on my personal all-time list.
Wow.
It's number 4. He's only behind Ali.
Oh, on your all-time list?
All time.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Only behind Floyd, Ali, and Manny. So, I'm really high on Oleksandr.
The CV of Oleksandr Usyk says it all. He has destroyed both world champions and up-and-coming talents, and his triumph over Daniel Dubois further enhanced that record. On paper, Dubois, a strong and physically intimidating heavyweight, presented a significant threat, but Usyk outwitted him with brilliant strategy. Despite his power, Usyk can never let conceit get the better of him. Even when the world begins to proclaim him the greatest, he stays grounded and never does. His modesty stands in stark contrast to today's propensity for spectacle. Usyk's quiet confidence is a welcome change in an often ego-driven sport.
The WBO, Frank Warner very close, Joseph Parker is obviously a Queensberry fighter, so there could be potential that they do what they did with this fight, what they did with the Dubois fight. It also means as well that, and maybe this is why, potentially it's because Riyadh season shows from November onwards, and I doubt we'll see Oleksandr Usyk in the ring this year because it's only July, but he's only fought, and I would imagine Usyk is going to be one of these 6 to 8 month type of guys. That's the way he's been over the last 2 years. So you're looking probably February next year at the earliest when he finally fights again. So for me, it's like, right, well, that will be after the Riyadh and Ring Magazine's pay-per-views end, as in they're not going to be doing pay-per-view anymore. Maybe they look at that fight and think, Usyk Parker, it's a fight that, with the greatest respect, and Oleksandr Usyk is a very big name, it maybe does need that pay-per-view wall behind it in order to facilitate the purses that they could potentially forking out for it. So maybe that's why Riyadh season won't do it. Now, the Zone obviously have not ruled out pay-per-view, they're still going to do pay-per-view.
The fact that Usyk is praised outside of his time period is what really sets him apart. He is now discussed in the same sentence as the timeless sports icons by boxing fans, former champions, and commentators. He's not simply this decade's best. He is regarded as one of the greatest of all time. His performances are being preserved as mastery lessons, and the historical significance of his achievements is already being documented. His place in boxing history is indisputable because he became undisputed in several divisions, defeated champions in their prime, and did so with such class and intelligence.
It was sort of broken up in different directions. Even I wasn't sure because although I believe Usyk is the fighter of the generation in this weight class, he's at an age where, overnight you sort of show up and you don't have it anymore. Ali randomly lost to Leon Spinks around this age and whatnot, So you could get where all of a sudden, it's not there on the night. So And you know, you had
And heavyweights takes 1 second. One split second, you're off.
Yeah, exactly. And you also had a very motivated Dubois to add to that second. You know, who's a very powerful puncher and has sort of this bully mentality when he gets you in an uncomfortable position. But you know, Usyk, you know, flawless performance technically. You know, stepping out to that weak side consistently, mixing up the jabs. Making things uncomfortable for Dubois rhythm-wise.
He seemed more aggressive, right? Normally, I think with some of the bigger guys, he slides to the weak side, slides to the weak side. This was different.
I think with Dubois, the psychology is kind of out of the bag in that you got to kind of bully the bully, you know, and Dubois came out trying to bully him a little bit, so he started touching him and hitting him, and he started taking it to him because you start backing him up, you start putting him in a situation where he starts to doubt himself, and Dubois doesn't really come back from that very often. As a matter of fact,
he doesn't bend, he breaks.
In the fight, I thought he's a little bit awkward, Dubois. I don't know,
he's one of those awkward strong guys.
Yeah,
he's just like super strong, awkward as hell.
He goes down and he takes the full count, and then he just gets up at 10 and walks across the ring right in front of Usyk, who's celebrating middle of the ring, like with his hands up in the air. Just casually walks right by Usyk's celebration as if he didn't just get counted out to 10.
Foreman Ali. Remember, he walks right to his corner.
Yeah, but I was like, dude, you could have got up. You waited to 10, and then
he was a beaten man.
You waited to 10, and then not only you get up, you don't even have the presence of mind to realize like I'm walking right into the picture where he's celebrating.
But Paulie, he was a beaten man before the first knockdown.
He tried to jab, he tried to throw that right hand, and he landed that right hand a couple of times, by the way. He got Oleksandr Usyk in the corner, and he was trying to work, but ultimately he's in there with an all-time great. Not a generational great, an all-time great. A generational great would almost dictate that Oleksandr Usyk is just a great in the last 10, 15 years. No. Oleksandr Usyk is a great since boxing began. Since boxing began, people. Understand what we're watching here. We're not watching a generational great. We're watching an all-time great. That's what Daniel Dubois was in there with. There is a discussion in my brain right now as I'm talking to you about where Oleksandr Usyk is when it comes to the best heavyweights of all time. Like in my head right now, I'm thinking, who beats him?
Interesting heavyweight division, guys. Let me know what you guys think. Let me know what you guys thought of Usyk's performance, where he ranks in the all-time list. I know, everybody was big into their nostalgia, but remember, Soviets were not turning pro until the 90s, and I think that makes a big difference. That's another thing. Heavyweights are bigger. Lefties are more common now, and also the Soviet era of fighters did not start turning pro until the 90s. So the old days, they didn't have to deal with those guys. So a lot of things that also favor Usyk being a GOAT. But of course, man, it's hard to pick against Ali being the GOAT.